Hello, welcome. Welcome to another night shift. So what's the time? It's 11 o'clock. It's late. It's been a long day. Been up early. Done work today, family stuff, a whole host of things. So, the funny thing about the night shift is if you look at my eyes, hello, they're so bloodshot. Um, yeah, it's really interesting. Sometimes you think like, well, if I want to do things, if I want to learn, new skills, new hobbies, just become more productive. It's like, well, how do you fit it in? Sometimes you can't fit it in. Sometimes there is not enough time with everything, with life happening. You just have to think, okay, well, how much do I want to do this? How badly do I want it? And how much do I really need to sleep? So it turns out you can kind of figure that out. 5 hours is probably the absolute minimum I can do and still function reasonably. I can go less, but diminishing returns. Obviously, the more the better. But sometimes it's like, well, life happens. There are responsibilities. There's family. There's things that just have to be taken care of regardless of preference. And so these extracurricular activities that don't necessarily factor into the day-to-day of things, then you just have to sacrifice is not the right word, but you have to choose. Okay, well, and you have to choose, and the price is really just sleep. So everyone's in bed, feeling, pretty wiped out. But when I sort of sit here and I've got my cup of tea, the reason why I don't have coffee is because I'll be so caffeinated that, I'll probably stay up till really early in the morning. However, I would not have slept, and then next day would be wiped out. So I've kind of, shot myself in the foot there. But tea is that happy middle ground. I get just enough to to help push through this, but not so much that it eats out tomorrow. Like it's only 11. Like it's not insane, but it's really just an example. These are the things that you have to do if you want to do something that you really want to do. Just got to do it. So that's why I call this the night shift. Okay, I'm just going to check if this is running on the YouTube. It says it is, but could be lying. Nope, it's running. Okay. No, that's cool. I just got to check. It's going to be warm in here. It's warm under these lights. But, okay. Here we go. Let's get stuck into it. So tonight, what we're going to focus on is I've got a class this week, and we've been doing a lot of AI. We've been doing a lot of production design, creative production, video editing. My background is as a commercial producer, director, and editor, motion graphics artist. So a whole host of skills. Sound design is a complementary part of that. And so what I've been teaching students over last week in terms of being creative content producers is really the physical or the technical skills to do this. So what I'm doing at the moment is just prepping some assets together, just to example in the class. So when we talk about theory and we talk about methods of best practice, it's always good to show an example of something done for real and then just break it down in the steps. Now, I don't actually have any of my actual production work just because I sort of stepped out of the industry about 5 to 6 years ago. Not to walk away from commercial design or TV commercials and broadcast design, but to pursue other areas of design. we're not going to go into it today, but what I did go into was like app design. Or I was working in the health system, developing apps and products just to improve access to data. But anyway, we're not going to talk about health data here. And however, these skills, it's riding a bike. You know, once you've done it, and I did it for so long that I can't not remember it. I've played guitar for like 20 years, but I haven't really played solidly for maybe between 5 to 10 years. Like I pick it up every now and then, strum, finger picking, some tapping, whatever. But in terms of like that hardcore, dedicated, 5 to 6 hours every day of solid practice, it hasn't been for a long time. However, because I did that so much as a teenager, like all my teens were spent religiously practicing every day. And that's not even an exaggeration. That stuff is burned in my brain now. My neurons sort of built around that. My personality that was formed in those, in that time was built around this like religious practice. So anyway, what we're going to do today is I've been running the students through, just some basic editing in Premiere. And I'm not teaching Premiere as a seasoned pro or a veteran editor. I'm teaching Premiere as an entry point, as a step into becoming a creative content producer. So I've spoken about like just the basic skills, because the most important part is not knowing how to ingest footage, not knowing all of the codecs and the color spaces, knowing all these technical workflows. Yes, they are very important, but they will also come in time and when there's a need and a purpose for it. So if you're working with online, offline footage or 4K, 8K workflows, then you will need to know how to do proxies. You will need to know how to sort of down res and the hardware and the data management of things. But that will come in time, and that will come if you need to do it. The most important part is just the editing. It's the cutting the footage together, the getting that sense of timing, that sense of storytelling, that visual sense of composition, that auditory sense of, creating this soundscape. They're the most important parts. And yeah, a mix might be rough. Yeah, the footage may not be the cleanest. The graphics may not be the most pristine, but the timing and the storytelling, like that's going to be sharp. It's a little bit like with guitar playing. Eddie Van Halen on a shitty $100 guitar is still going to sound like Eddie Van Halen, and it's not because the guitar isn't good enough. Sure, the guitar may not give him the full breadth and depth of an Eddie Van Halen, but it's still going to sound like him because he's got the tone, the technique, the timing, the phrasing, the rhythm, that musical voice. And so and this is what you see a lot in like that 80s hair metal, which is one of my favorite genres, that shredding style, is it's so technically driven and it's awesome and it's fun, but it's not music in the sense of someone standing up there saying this is and expressing, what they believe and what they think and what they're saying and getting that their soulfulness and their energy out. It is a guy up there saying, I've practiced for 15 years, check this out, check out this scale. So let's jump into this. What I've got on here, it's going to be a bit of a challenge, if we can go look through it. I've just downloaded all these sound effects. the way I'm sort of running this course, well, actually, the way I'm sort of running this, this little slice of just an example, is I'm only using pre-made assets that anybody can download. So I haven't shot any of this. These transitions aren't anything that I've created in After Effects. They're nothing that I've captured or sequenced together or edited. Everything is really just the assets I found for free, pulled them together and sort of blended it and, sort of made something out of it. So in terms of storytelling, it's very loose and, it's very basic. I'm basing it upon the shots that I found and thinking, okay, I've got a handful of shots, like 6 maybe or something. How can I massage these to make something out of it? So yeah, it is rough, but hey, it's just an example, because students can also look at this and think, well, that's okay, but I think if you do this, and this, maybe add this piece in, it could be so much better. So even them sort of looking at what I've done and thinking, nah, that sucks. I reckon if you add these pieces to make it better, that's them thinking in the background, and that's them developing that creative awareness to then go out and do it for themselves. So take that new, or maybe it's not new, but that awareness out there, and they can go apply it to their work and see it in others. So what I've got here is just a simple bit of footage cut together. It's pretty cool. It's loosely telling a story of a crazy person kicking over a piano and setting it to fire and whatnot, and then just a logo at the end. I come from a commercial background, so my sensibilities are very commercial. I really enjoy it, so I'm not hiding behind the fact that I think commercialism and commercial design kind of gets lumped in with capitalism, which kind of gets lumped into being evil and bad. However, we all consume it. We all take part in it. We are it. It's nothing that's bad. What's bad is stuff that's disingenuous, inauthentic, and a money grab. Remove those feelings, you can still have really beautiful work. But anyway, so what we're going to do today, just to the class I've got coming up this week, we're going to focus on exporting this out, adding some sound design to it, and then uploading it somewhere. So let me just get some juice. Okay, so we've got these clips here. There's no sound, but there's potential for sound. Now, yes, we can do sound design in Premiere. It is good, but it's also limited. Premiere does have some audio effects and filters. But the control is quite limited. So what I find the best workflow for this is to create assets in the native programs. So do all my video editing in Premiere, and still have like a sense of a story and what's going to happen and how I think the sounds are going to sort of come in and complement it, like enrich it. But then I also want to take that footage into in this case I'm going to use Adobe Audition, just because it's all part of the suite. And then I use the tools of Audition and what it's meant for to do some sound design, to sort of layer it up, get things, building this soundscape, and then do some basic mastering, export the wave or the stem, bring that back into Premiere, and then export that out. Now the reason is like, well, why wouldn't you just do that in Premiere? As I said, it's quite limited in the tool set in terms of audio. Like the way I look at Premiere, it's more of a composition tool. It's a layout tool, a little bit like InDesign. So you don't do photo editing in InDesign, you don't do graphic design / like branding elements, logos, vectors, drawing, 3D assets, photography. But what you do is you do them in their native applications, you do them in their native programs, and then you compile them all together in InDesign, and yeah, that's how it comes together. And it's the same with Premiere in my experience and in my workflows. That's how I use it. So let me just move this light. Whoops. Okay. I think we're still going. I pressed a button that I shouldn't have. Yep, no, we're all good. Okay. So anyway, that's enough talking. We'll just get stuck into it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to export like a, I don't know, I'll do a quick save. But just a low res. Actually, I want to put some music on, but I got booted off YouTube the other day for playing music. So, which is a shame. But what I'm going to do while we're talking, I'll see if this works. I'm just going to put some AI music on, because here's the funny thing about AI music is no one owns it. Though it's been trained on, though it has ripped off slash ingested and trained on all of these beautiful songs, the export of that work, no one owns it. Well, I think that's going to be, up for debate. But so what we're going to have to play is some AI music, which I was listening to some the other day. Some of it's good, some of it sucks, but this is probably the future. So here we go. No, that's not it. That's the biscuit. Hope that doesn't get me a bit off. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to use this as background, just so I don't get booted off YouTube. Alright, but I guess this is all a part of it, this creative experience. Okay, let's cut back to it. So I got this thing, I'm going to edit, export. I'm just going to bring it back up to, there we go. And by the way, I've rushed through this so fast that nothing has its, nothing's been named properly. Okay. Where was it? Do this. So I'm just going to save this as. It's funny, when I worked in a commercial environment doing this stuff, my workflows, my naming conventions were so tight. Now that, because I haven't done it for so long, it's so loose and sloppy, which kind of annoys me. Just going to call this video. I'm just going to call it offline. No, it's not technically, but hey, who cares? So I'm just going to export. So I really should change the name of this, but again, this is such fast stuff. So I can close that down. Now when I go into, just go back, export. There it is, 36 meg. It's only a 10-second clip. But yeah. I think about doing some other stuff in the background here. So as I've said in like previous streams, this is my shed. It's I guess you'd call it a 2-story shed. Up there, there's a mezzanine. There's another section down there. The back wall, there's a gym down there. Up here, up this end, this is where I've got this creative studio set up. I guess in time, what I'm going to do is probably deck this out, but I'm not too fussed on doing that just yet. But I figured, well, there's probably some cool things I can do in the background here. Maybe some kind of cool light wash. I don't know, but I'm open to ideas. Got some pretty cool, some pretty cool lights in here. I've got some cool lights here set up for around this computer. But anyway, let's go back to this. So that video is exported. It's good enough quality. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to turn the music off in a sec. I'm just going to bring up Audition. I don't know why I've got these old ones and not the latest one, but I've mostly been working off Mac lately. All for a long time. But anyway, so I've got this Audition brought up, loaded. So first thing I'm going to do is just sort of load in my video. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. What I want to do, I'll just delete that. I want to do a multi-track. Now, wow. It's been a long time since I've done video editing on this computer. That exhibition was a long time ago. 18 months ago. But anyway. So I'm going to bring up this. Creative World, Crackling Producer. So I'm just going to create it in here. I'm just going to create a new folder called Sound Design. Select folder. I'm just going to call this Sound Design. It's pretty crazy. This is, oops, fuck, I didn't even save it. It's pretty crazy. This is AI music. Like, other than the quality being so terrible, you know, it sounds like very early waves or very early MP3s. Yeah, it's crazy. That's, you know, it sounds legit. Okay, anyway. So this is where this week's class is. Select folder. Gonna call this Sound Design. Yes, I do underscores instead of spaces. It's just a habit I've been doing for 20 years. It's not based upon anything. Well, it's based upon having a PC Mac workflow where that spaces used to affect it. It hasn't for a long time, but I've found it's always good practice. Okay, I better turn this music off. So I'm just gonna go. I don't know. I'm just playing. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we'll turn the music off. So, getting into it, don't forget those. This was just based upon another class I ran earlier today. Again, don't ask. It was one of those things. She might just close all those. Edit. I'll close that. So we'll just focus on this. Got sound design. Sound effects. Excuse me. So this is a folder that I downloaded from a website. It was free, sort of sample stuff. It's not great. It's not the worst, and it's not exactly what I want. But I'm just going to use it because the whole point of this is to show there's a creativity in the constraint. So having everything available, having every wish at your command, I don't think is necessarily always the best. I don't think it's always necessarily the best thing to have. Sometimes it is good to say, well, you know, you've only got a couple of things to use. Now making something incredible, then you've got to kind of really sort of, you know, you've got to really think about it or feel it and make it work. So this is no different. So with that footage, actually let me just drag and drop that in. This is the export. Drag and drop in. So you can see it's given me, oh, there is audio to it, but there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. Oh. Oh, okay, so those clips did have some audio. But I don't want those, so I'm just going to delete it. I think at first I have to, I think I can just actually delete it. So just give me the video, oh, sorry. Just give me the video up in the top corner. There. Might just bring it out a little bit. down a little bit. So I don't even need this history. What a dumb. Close panel. Tracks. Close panel. What I do need is a media browser. So I'm going to bring up what I've just downloaded. Create a world. And again, these sound effects aren't necessarily what I want to use. And I haven't spent any time. I just downloaded what was available. So, you know, that's, again, creativity and constraint. Now we're going to go through these and we sort of preview them. And we're going to just find things that max up. Just do something that's a little bit different. See, that sounds pretty cool. So if I go in here and go, so it's not a bad like sort of undertone. And this collection also hasn't been named that well. So I've just got to try and make sense of it. I think what I'm going to do is just sort of sketch things out a little bit. Maybe just put them all on their own tracks. And look for things that I like. And then what I'll do is probably just go through all these tracks. I like this one. I think what I'm going to aim to do is just get my main like story points, my main like sounds, and then I might use just like smaller ones to sort of like augment and make it a little bit more ornate, just add a little bit more detail. The idea is like I want these images to like I want this like this video to really sort of hit viscerally, and audio is a good way of sort of surrounding someone and immersing them to do that. So I thought there was more in this folder. That'll do. I don't think I've uploaded them all. Hold on, well, let's have a look. Oh, these aren't even the ones I want. But we'll use these to start off with. Which that means I'm going to have to be uploading some now. You can probably hear that dog. Silly dog. Okay, I'm uploading some more. But we'll just make these work with what I've got so far. So let's just have a look. Got a nice hum underneath. You know what? That might even just be enough. Okay, that's pretty cool. But That might even be enough for just a background. Turn that off. See what this one does. Let's just try that in there, see what happens. So it goes like this. Be cool to connect it sort of like. Maybe there. Okay, well, I kind of like it there. See that design or die. Trying to make it tie into that. Excuse me. Right there. Yeah, I like that. Sounds good. What's this one? So that one's cool, but this one's cool too. They're all pretty cool. These work together well. Funny thing is, this is almost done. Might just kick that off. I don't actually know if I need any more sound effects. Because this sounds actually pretty cool. I'll turn this one down a bit. There's two ways of doing it. You can either adjust at the mixer level or like the track level, or do the clips. I prefer to do the clips, get the clips balanced on the track, and then you can sort of balance the track overall with all the other tracks. It's good when you come to doing like sound, like sidechaining and so on. Okay. Well, it's 11:30. We're still going. Done a lot of talking. So I might just bring this down. Oops. Once you go in, there we go. We'll see what this one at the end has to do. Again, this is only a quick example. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to do transformers here. You know, using that insane, going to that level. Not that I don't want to. It's more, that's not really the point of this week's class. So I'm just going to get this to hit on something, maybe that. Okay, so when I put these two together, so they complement each other quite well. I'll tell you what, this is actually not bad. Like, it's not. Think. Turn that one off. I might just have that. It's not bad. Not bad at all. So, just gonna look at these sound effects. Not exactly what I want, but don't really want impacts. Trailers designed. So again, these are all free off the internet. And the point of this is to make something out of them. I thought that would have been better. It might be a bit too intense, so I just kind of need more. Something just different in there. So we'll focus on this one. I'll turn the solos off. Oops. And again, I'm just playing here. I'm not focused on mix. I'm focused on just doing something interesting. See what happens when we do this. It's weird, but fuck it. But here's the thing about it too, is that I kind of want to mix it up a little bit. Just try different things. Maybe we do this over the top of it. This is pretty cool. So let's play around with this. This is interesting. So we'll go effects rack. Maybe we'll just play around with some of these. cool. Duplicate that. Go tracks. Might make another one. And let's just focus on these two at the moment. Turn the drone off. We'll put loop on. Our loop is on. How do I put the playback? I can't remember anymore. Maybe it's right click. No, that's not it. Fuck it, I can't even remember anymore. Oh.
Yeah. 4, 3, 2, 1.
So with this track set one, let's change this to something else. We'll go.
Yeah. 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. 4, 3, 2. Yeah. 4. Yeah. 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 4, 3.
I think I liked this one.
Yeah. 4. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Then I'm just going to zoom in and slightly offset them a little bit.
Yeah. 4.
Might be a bit too much.
Yeah. 4.
Then I might just duplicate this selected track. So again, like Adobe Audition isn't the best out of all of these, but again, it's in the storytelling. That's the most important part. So I think I might make this top one almost like front and center.
Yeah.
So I'll turn these off.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see what happens actually when I do this.
Yeah. 4, 3, 2.
Not really loving that.
Yeah. 4.
Maybe I do need to just get some.
Yeah.
Something to sort of like put it in your face.
Yeah. 4.
Let's add a pitch shift. Just see what happens. Where are you, pitch shift? Pitch. Just go.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might even just offset that.
Yeah. 4, 3, 2.
It's pretty fucking crazy. Then I might add in a bus. Maybe I just treat the whole thing. But anyway, we're not going to focus on that just yet. That sounds pretty interesting.
4, 3, 2.
Okay. Let's just play with these other designs.
Yeah. 4.
No, not loving that.
Yeah. 4.
Not loving that.
Yeah. 4.
Not loving that. It's interesting. So I guess one thing I want to do is maybe make these hit on those moments. So this one, select them all, razor blade. I used to be a lot more proficient in using these, just because I used to do this a lot more. Not as good as not as fast as I used to be, but you know, doesn't matter. So I kind of want it to. Okay, that'll do. It's not perfect, but just want to see what this one is. I want to get rid of those top ones and just keep it simple. It's just not sort of fitting. I might just turn this one up Just turn the clip up. And I need something like it's almost like a hi-hat element. I just sort of need tinkling in the background. But it's sort of prolonged. But not with too much bass in it. Don't think there is anything in there I want. It's almost like as you've got these big sort of bass vocal heads. I want there just to be like this, just sort of a treble, like a high end in there breaking it up. So what I'm looking for is like almost like a ding-ling-ling dingling sound, but a prolonged. And not anything that has a melody. So we'll just, I'll just keep looking through these. Well, we'll try that, see what happens. It's not really what I'm after, but I'll turn these solos off. Oops. I've forgotten how to use this program. Like, I don't mind it, but it's just out of time, that's all. Yeah, that might actually be alright. I have a few of those sort of going. Put one here. That rain sound effect might work. Yeah, I think that might actually add that color that I was looking for. So I'm just going to add a new track, add stereo track. Just gonna bring that rain down here. Again, these aren't organised to anything. It does cut through a lot, so I might just sync this up to something. Why they? So I think this might be the end of it. That sounds just so stands out too much. That one's actually not bad. Let's try that there, see what happens. It's a bit muddy, but it's not bad. So what I find now is everything's competing for attention. So this is where we talk about the master and stuff, but I think that stands out a bit too much. Okay, doing some more cutting. Just trying to blend this out. I don't like things finish on a perfect cut, so that's why I kind of let things taper out a little bit. Okay, let's just... It's different. Can I go full screen? Enable full screen. So I have full screen happen on another monitor. Well, it's different. I might just taper this one out a little bit. Okay, maybe just... I do need something to hit on that piano crashing. Just something different. Oops. Oh, it's almost midnight. Then we'll do when it crashes. And that part. Then we'll just go there, so that's pretty cool. So when we put it in the mix, it's probably just not loud enough, so let's just give it a little bit more love. Just needs a little hit in there. Just a little impact. It's probably just here. Again, this is not methods of best practice. I'm just tapping. Well, I just do enjoy this. I find it relaxing. Okay, let's try this. There's going to be a lot going on in this. It's so weird. But here's the thing about this is just based upon like the assets I've just downloaded off the internet. Just need one. Again, I'm just making weird stuff. Because again, I'm not creating a literal translation of, you know, what's happened. I'm trying to create an emotion. But there's a fine line between overdoing it. So in this like little sound effect now, I just need something to sound like it's getting mixed up. It's almost like it's getting tried that, but it's not really what I'm after. I think I'm just after like a high pitched squeal. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, I think I'm done now. I'm only really just playing around. I think that's too much. Might just put this one down. Again, there's not much panning happening in here. Not too worried about it. I'm just going to turn up a little bit so I can fully imbibe it. Again, I think that might be too loud. Again, I don't want something standing out over something else. What I aim to do is to have everything like an orchestra. So I don't even think that one might be too loud still. Alright, I think that's it. So let's go File, Export, Multi-track Mixdown. Go entire session. I'm going to save this as just a wave. 10 past 12. We're doing good. I'm going to go to where this is save. I really hate how this is all changed around. Yeah, Premiere Export, Sound Design. We'll just go Mixdown. That'll do. Wave 32 bits. No, won't include markers. Alright. Assuming nothing goes over the edge. No, that'll do. So I'm happy with that. The reason why that took a long time, I was just playing around. Just sort of feeling it out. So I've got this down here. Now what I'll go, Project Basics. Bring it up in here. And Sound Design. Here's my mix down. 5 meg. It's only 10 seconds, so that's alright. Then I'm just going to come down. But if I do bring this up, I'll see that I already do have sound effects in here, which I didn't realize these clips had sound effects on them. So what I'm going to do is unlink them. Not that they're not good, but I just want to, just do my own mix. So that's all good. Grab my Sound Design. I'm just going to put it in 1. Excuse me. All right. Are you ready? I look tired. I am tired. Still got my tea going. Probably know I'm watching, but that's all good. We don't do it for the audience. We do it for the love of it. So, all right, here we go. We're gonna the world premiere of, what would you call this? I guess like the creative world, the night shift. 10-second clip. Here we go. Without further ado, I'll see if I can loop it. Yep, it's all good. I call this clip Night Shift. It's not about anything, but it is just an exploration of creativity. Enjoy. Here we go. Here we go. Crazy. Here we go again. Well, there it is. We're done. That's the clip. It is. We look at it. I'll just put it on mute. Well, I don't know how to mute. It's fun. I've been using. Well, I do know how to mute. I just didn't know how to mute very quickly. And actually, I know how to do it. I can just do it on here. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Okay. I'll go edit in. Come on. Here we go. So again, this clip was just an exploration in taking just a handful of assets that were available for free, very high quality, and trying to weave them together to make a story. What this story is, I guess, it tells a story of, wow, I guess like a chaotic mind looking for creativity to burn. This burning creativity, this inner turmoil. So when you see like these clips of like that vortex happening, what that's really aimed to represent is just like that inner spiral inside your mind, that creative downward, upward, sideward spiral that is a tornado, like a creative tornado. And what the fire represents, many things to many people. For me, it is the passion and the heat, the friction, the friction from momentum, this creative like combustion that happens. That's what the fire represents. So in a loose way of just looking at a handful of assets that are downloaded for free and trying to weave something. It's funny when you think of like, well, how do you decide what story to weave? And I sort of looked at it in a couple of ways. The first way was, okay, I've chosen to download these certain clips for a reason. Now, the conscious part of me maybe doesn't know why, but the subconscious part of me does have a method to its madness. So it has selected these clips for a reason over, sunshine and rainbows and lollipops. So I've got to accept that there's a part of me that's been drawn to this and has chosen these. Now, the conscious part of me, or I guess the director part of me, takes this information and then stitches it together. So I guess this is like a question and answer, a call and response to both my conscious mind and my subconscious. And it's just a conversation that you're seeing out loud manifested in its visual form, like this. It's an interesting concept, an interesting, sort of philosophy. However, like I'm just describing what it looks like to me. I don't know the answer, and I guess a part of it is trying to figure out this link between, the creative minds, the subconscious minds, that supercomputer that sits underneath of this tiny little search engine that sits atop of all this, squishy grey matter database. But I think this is like a Rorschach test as well. This thing, it's speaking to me. I've done it for a reason. There's a part of me that has put these assets in the certain order that they arrive. The color grading, the typer of, yes, I've used templates, sort of glitchy effects on top to demonstrate the technique itself to the students. However, the hindbrain, the lizard brain, that whatever part of me is drawing this out, there is a conversation happening there. Even if it's just a personal conversation between me, myself, and I, here it is. So I haven't shot any of this, but I have tried to tell a story, and I think perhaps this does sort of sum up the energy that is the creative world. I guess the energy is not necessarily this sort of pastel, beige washed template social media photocopy. This is the raw emotion that I feel for this thing. Whether it's right or wrong doesn't really matter. There is no right or wrong in self-expression. No, there is. The wrong path is the one that's not opening yourself up. Yeah. Anyway, that's a lot of words and a lot of thoughts for something that is just a quick tutorial to demonstrate some basic techniques in this program. But we're here. This is here. I've enjoyed making it. It has no practical purpose, no practical use. I don't know where it will go live on beyond this. Maybe it's just a cool exercise. Maybe, who knows? But maybe it does lead to a stylization. But it's definitely something that, hey, it's here. It's arrived. And let's have a quick listen. Very aggressive, isn't it? It's cool to play like armchair psychologist to this. It's sort of be external and comment on what was happening. Like if I saw someone else doing this, then it's a comment on what they presented. I would say that they're an angry person. There's like a suppressed, dark, hot energy, grittiness, and very bold, almost violent, but not quite. Not violence in the sense of violence, but violence in the sense of determination. But anyway, enough of the psychobabble. That is it for this evening. This was the night shift. There'll be many more to come. This is that small pocket in time and space where everybody's asleep. There is this small window and which to try, experiment, and see what happens. So where we started this was thinking, how do you find time to do the things that you want to do? It's an anagram of itself, that sentence. You just find time to do the things that you want to do. And if that means that you're up to 12:30 making passive-aggressive videos using stock footage and free assets, then so be it. And if that means that you then stream this out to the wide world and nobody's watching, but you're doing it just because, hey, that's living. That's the creative life. Creating even if no one's watching, just because you have to. That's what being creative is. Yeah. Just doing it because you have no other choice. Okay. Good night. Sleep well. See you tomorrow.